All right, lads, welcome back to the daily close. It is the usual suspects, knxqtr, myself, Crypto-pleb, my boy here, BASŞD Buddha. We're back at it again with your weekly. We're actually a bit more frequent technical analysis of your favorite coins out here, BTC, ETH, and then we always have our wild card coming up. This time we'll talk about XRP because it is the people's coin.
People's coin, baby.
We do it for the culture. But as always, not financial advisors, you know this. So do your own research as well. If you could please like and subscribe, it helps with the algorithm so we get more views, so more people can see our work. And if it's helpful to you, please give us a comment, let us know if there's anything you want us to cover. We try to be active as possible and replying to comments. So if we're a little bit slow, please have some forgiveness. We will get back to you in some form or fashion. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into this stuff here. So let's go over and take a look at BTC here. So actually, well, this is the Bitcoin dominance. I always like to start off talking about this as a measure against Bitcoin versus the market with altcoins. But in my previous videos, you've already seen and noticed that this is on the weekly time frame, by the way, but we're having a bit more action, more bullish activity going on here with BTC. I think there's a lot more love coming back in here, a little bit more trust coming back to BTC. I mean, it is more or less the reserve currency, but it's nice to see when this starts going up. I think Q4 coming up to this as well. So this also could be some possible reasons why people are starting to put a little bit more money back into the market. But yeah, I mean, at least for BTC, this making a move back up again definitely is a bullish sign. I suppose on the monthly, it is recovering as well, coming back down to the 4-hour. I'd say wild look at this, but we'd have a little bit of ranging on the 4-hour as well. But I think for Bitcoin dominance, I'd probably just keep to looking at the longer time frames personally. But I think overall, should just back to the daily, still trading within the RSI. I think it's still at a fairly comfortable level. Perhaps we might see a bit more moves coming up in the next couple of days, so I definitely pay attention. But back over to our core asset, BTC, man, it is looking good. It is. These are some moves I enjoy seeing. It's not covering. There you go. That's better. But yeah, I mean, it looks like we're starting to pump up again here. Obviously, these last number of days have been very favorable. If I turn on my my boy disappeared, so I'm just getting on my Ichimoku cloud. Oh, that's not the one I want. It's probably a better one. But let's get rid of that. Oh my goodness. I had to set that back up again. My Ichimoku cloud decided to run off on me this time. It's not very nice. Let's see. Ichimoku cloud. It's terrible when this happens. It's not very nice, is it? No, I can't get the right one up. I'll find it, but it's gonna be fine. But at least we can take a look at the Bollinger Bands here, which I also think is a pretty good mark. I mean, so far over the previous couple of days, we're trading over the 20-day moving average as well. We're at the higher end of this average, or this Bollinger Bands right now. Maybe around here, you kind of see it might kind of bounce back down a little bit, especially if we're feeling like it's a little bit overbought. But I wouldn't say that's a definitive sign that it is going to go back down. I've seen where they touch a little bit top of the Bollinger Bands and still keep going north to the North Star. So obviously want to use other factors when you're looking into this, such as how the volume is doing, which the volume, I mean, it is the weekend, so we're not seeing too much. You might see a bit more action coming up on Monday, or our Tuesday, your Monday, because here in Tokyo, we do live in the future. But just tipping out some typical trend lines. I want to see, just pull up see a second. And there you go. Yeah, you go pretty far back to see a couple trend lines you can look at least for the potential resistance lines that could be coming up. I think I'd be probably safe around these kind of areas. I think for resistance, yeah, I mean, see a couple breakouts, some connections there. Maybe want to go a bit lower. It's a bit of a channel, not a channel there, but some resistance lines you might be looking at. I mean, I suppose if you're wanting to look and draw some, some proper trends, you could start quite low, touch a few at the bottom here, then some more trend lines. I think you probably, that's actually not too bad there. And so, actually, I'm going at the bottom. Sorry, that's not right. Let me just get a better one. I'm just ballparking here, obviously. Let's just fix that. There we go. Yeah, so I mean, based on what I'm seeing here, because we're seeing a bullish move here, some good support. See, based on my trend line, obviously, it's looking to seem to be protecting or managing the resistance here. But I suppose within the next couple of days, I would guess that it could be going up around this area here. That's about $57,000 before we might see maybe some further, maybe some down pressure. But I mean, depending on how people feel and how bullish, it might keep moving past that. I mean, we're up above the RSI now, but that's not an indication that it's going to be absolutely going to be bouncing back down from there, especially since we're making higher highs on the RSI. There are higher highs, or actually, well, except for here, but they're higher. They're bouncing up more and more over compared to the previous last movement. So, I think if I were to take a gander, I think around this point we could definitely get there. Maybe range a bit more in this area before continuing moving up, especially as I mentioned before about Q4 and how that's going to give us a lot more gains. I feel overall bullish that it's going to keep going up in the trend or up in the direction that we all like, especially if you're holding BTC. If I were to go down to the 4-hour, now it's getting a bit wild now. There you go. Yeah, I mean, I get a little bit of indecision recently. So the next number of hours is going to be a bit of an indication, but we see that the volume is slowly creeping up in positivity. So it's not really clear or very well shown, but it is ascending, which is a good sign as well. I think if we just continue this momentum, then it could push up to the point that I was just saying previously. I mean, if we go back to the furthest monthly, I mean, this month has been actually quite favorable as well. I mean, the long time frames look fairly bullish. Even to the smaller time frames look fairly bullish as well. So, I mean, I think I'm pretty comfortable saying we're going to see some good gains here. I don't think we're going to see huge corrections. But also, please bear in mind, this is cryptocurrency. So one thing I say today might be different tomorrow. But at least from what I see, things are looking quite bullish. And I'd be looking to go for a position here at some point long to make some good gains. But do your research and don't just ape in. But other than that, that's my coverage of BTC, lads. So I think we'll move on to BASXD Buddha.
All right. Awesome. Thank you, Crypto-pleb. Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Cool. So Ethereum, a few things to note here. I am using the FTX chart at the moment. I've come to learn that there's quite a lot of volume on FTX relative to other exchanges. So I mean, there's Bitfinex, Bybit, Coinbase, Binance. So again, with more volume, more liquidity, I think there's more. I think it shows more about the price action. So that's why I'm using the FTX chart. And right now I have in front of me the weekly. On the weekly, we'll see that there's no specific divergences. I mean, we just had the bearish divergence play out just a few weeks ago, actually. weeks ago back in September. That played out. Right now, we're in an uptrend, and the stock RSI is stochastic is pointing upwards. If we go down to more of a lower time frame, the 3-day, first time for me to actually talk about this. And I said previously on the weekly as well that we had a closure back in September above the previous high, local high back in May. So right here it says 3,824 was when it closed. However, we got to about 3,928 back in early September. Just on the closure date, if we look at that being higher, I would say it is looking long term on a higher time frame, more bullish. We'll see that, it kind of bottomed out here. We had a high, low, high, and we had a lower high here, but then the trend is actually reforming, and we're in an uptrend again. So this is looking quite good. Again, no divergences even on the 3-day. Oops, no divergences. Wait, hold on. Yeah, no divergences on the 3-day, and yes. What else? So I think what people pay more attention to, especially if you're swing trading, is more maybe on the daily. I think the daily is actually one of my favorite charts. You see a lot of things happen. So if we look here again, the trend's looking quite good. We formed another sort of base here, consolidated for a number of days, and we're now making essentially a higher high here. This actually closed slightly lower than the previous high, but again, this isn't actually complete yet. So we can probably see this moving a bit higher up before we can say it's it's invalidated and that we're going to go further down. So I'd pay close attention to this. We definitely need to close above 3,569, so maybe above 3,600 to really say we've broken the previous high, and a new trend is actually forming properly. I mean, you can't really even say this is a low because it's sort of just going upward for a number of days. And if we look at the EMAs, we're obviously in bullish trend. Everything's above the EMAs from the 9 to 200. So I mean, there's nothing bearish about that. Let's see what else. So the stochastics is in the overbought territory. It looks like it's going to stay there for a while. The BBWP there's indicating that it's contracting, so it's not a lot of volatility, which is to say that it's probably going to continue as it is in this trend for a while, up in until we see the BBWP crossing again above maybe 25%. I think we're not going to see any big moves here, and the reverse MACD is saying we're in a bullish trend. The volume profile, I was looking at this earlier. See, the point of control is much lower than we currently are. We have a lot of activity around this point of control, which is, I'd say, 3,208. So we are trending above that. And if we look more closely, we are sort of on the top end of the higher node. So once we cross around 3,650, we'll enter more of the low node territory, which is to say that there's not a lot of there won't be a lot of resistance. There's not been a lot of historical data, so the sky's the limit, technically speaking. So I think they'll play out really well. And yeah, that's it for the for the daily. Go down to keep that on. Go to a more half day, 12-hour. Again, this resembles the daily quite well. We have stocks, stochastics on overbought territory, which is good. On the BBWP, volatility is very low. We are at basically almost the bottom. We just kind of bottom out here. My indicators are, we'll flash this blue blue line when it hits about 5% or lower. So we're at the pretty much the bottom of it, which is good. And yeah, I think this is again quite similar to the daily. I'm just going to switch over to the 4-hour, make a few more specific comments on this and where we might play out for the next few days. So again, we've hit the resistance here on this high. So you know, we've actually, if you look at it more closely, we've really just been playing with this, and it's just, yeah, we've not broken past the previous high, but there's already been one, 2, 3, 4, I mean more than 4, 5, 6 like touches. That's forming a strong momentum. Actually, I would even say that, yeah, I mean, I would say that it's sort of it's looking very good. One thing to note though is that there's not much volume here, so it's questionable. I don't think, again, the stochastics on the 4-hour is pointing upwards, so I would not think that this is actually going to go anywhere below what is this point, about 3,500. We've kind of kept this sort of even as sort of a $200, no, sorry, $100 $200 ish range. So that's good. I'll probably hold this line for a while. And yeah, if we do, I would say in terms of if you were a bear, I'd say we'd have to go below previous low to really say that, you know, maybe we're going to restart a new bearish trend. So that means we'd have to hit below what is this, 3,370. If we don't, yeah, anything above 3,370, I think we can remain bullish in our sentiment. That would be good. And again, volume profile, there's confluence with what we saw on the daily and the 12-hour, and the EMAs. I'm just going to assume again, it remains to be bullish. We've kind of crossed below the what is this, the 30, yeah, 2130, but we are still above the 55, so that's okay. And I think the last chart I want to look at is maybe the 1-hour. So great for swing trading. It is below the 55 EMA, but we've actually just bounced off the 200 simple over here. It didn't even touch it actually, but you can see it's respecting 200 EM simple moving average. And again, in terms of the actual trend formation, I mean, the reason why I would say this is a good swing trading formation, or even a day trading one, intraday trading, is because you're getting a high here, a low here, higher low, higher high, again higher low, and then just again it's forming this sort of a solid range for the past 1, 2, 3, 4 and a half days so far. So I mean, this is perfect perfect if you're an intraday trader. You can have fun with this. With the actual divergences, we're not seeing too much happening here. Right? Yeah, it's nothing hidden there. And BBWP is actually also pointing upwards. So in an upward direction, it is pointing up. It's starting to point upwards, which is to say we might have there's highly likelihood that we're going to break out, quote unquote, break out to the upside. And yeah, I think it looks great. So I won't actually look at the two too deeply into the lower time frames just because I just get a bit messy. But again, my sentiments for ETH is very bullish. I mean, for the past at least over a week, we've had higher highs and higher lows, even more than that actually from down here. So from late September, you could have just made a killing just going long right here on the actual crossover. Wow, you'd have been in bullish profit for like, yeah, for at least a week. So that's my analysis of ETH. I'm gonna pass it over to KNX for his alpha. Thank you.
Hey, hey, hey.
Hey, hey, hey.
Nice analysis, guys. Nice analysis. So today I'm going to be doing XRP, very popular coin. A lot of people are talking about it right now. I think it's got some fundamental news coming out soon as well regarding the SEC and the lawsuit that they're involved with. But I want to look at this from a technical perspective today. Let me share my screen real quick. Is that the XRP screen? I believe that is the XRP
indeed.
screen.
It is,
okay.
Fred, it is.
So let's look at this as always from the high time frames, and then we'll move down. Probably won't look at the very, very short time frames, but I'll start on the weekly here. Weekly is looking good. I think we're going to see a move up to this previous. Well, we've got 17 hours, 36 minutes until the weekly closure of this candle. If we close anywhere here or above 112, I would say it's very likely that we're going to see move up to this next resistance, which is about 130, 130-ish. And then if we break that on the weekly as well, we'll start to go up to about 156 and test new all-time highs after that. In terms of the RSI, rejection from the neutral zone, which is good, just like to see. A low has been confirmed on this candle, which is nice. It's created a weekly higher low from this previous one here. I'm going to talk about one of the indicators that I used that I haven't really spoken about before, which is called the jewel. I'm not going to go into this in a bit more in too much detail, but essentially what you need to know is the blue line is the faster moving stochastic. The pink line is the slow moving stochastic. The white line is the EMA. Sorry, not the EMA, the average. And this red and green line that you see here is sort of like a hodl your shorts, hodl your long type signal. So what are we seeing on here? We're seeing the blue across the pink, which is good, both in the upward direction, which is also nice. We've seen the average starting to slope up, which is what you want to see on the weekly. Again, remember, these are long-term time frames, so these aren't going to play out in the next few days or next week even. It's probably going to take a couple of weeks at least for this to work. And you can see this signal here is hodl your long signal with the green there, which I think it gave you at the bottom of this candle. And then if we look at the stochastics, you freshly crossed above on the stochastics, which is nice. We're seeing a tick up in volatility as well, which is also nice. I'd like to see this get up the moving the average, which is the white line here. If we can get up there and volatility starts to expand along with the stochastic and along with price action, I'm pretty confident that we'll get to at least 130, test that area, maybe come for a little bit of a short-term pullback, and then head back up to about 156. So that's it on the weekly. Now in validation points, where would I say, where would I get a bit more bearish on this? Any sort of closure between 94 cents, and then you're probably looking at a move down to where there's a lot of volume on this volume profile, which is around 63 to 60 cents. You would probably come all the way back down if you do close below that. I don't think that's what's happening here, but we had a nice SR flip on the weekly. I'll just draw this very quickly as well. You can see that was our previous resistance, tested it as support and bounced right off. So weekly looking good. Let's go down to the daily. What are we seeing on the daily here? Daily is also looking very good. Freshly closed yesterday above this resistance. It's nice, came back down to test it perfectly, and then we shot back up again. So looking good here. Short-term target's probably about 124, where this wick high was, and the volume profile is shown a little bit of resistance there as well, and then up to $1.27. Sorry, I don't think we stop there. I think we'll probably have a little bit of a pullback, and then test for new all-time highs before we get a medium to long-term pullback. Again, the RSI moving into the bullish control zone, very, very good. Confirmed a low here, which is nice, which is what you want to see. On volume as well, the daily candle has shown good volume. Jewel, this is also an excellent continuation. You've got the blue line crossing the white, you've got the pink line crossing the white as well, and you've got a hodl your long signal on your DMI there. Everything pointing upwards, average is in an upwards direction. Just looking for continuation here. Stokes are pretty high overbought territory, but I don't think that's anything to be worried about now. We've freshly got a upside cross. I think Stokes can remain in this area for quite a long time. Maybe 6-7 days. Volatility expanding as well, moving above the average, which is great to see. I would like to see this continue increasing while price action is increasing. And I would very likely say that we'd see like 137, 138 within the next week or two. That's it for the daily. What are our EMAs telling us? Yep, trading across all EMAs. Very nice to see. Nothing too much else on there. Let's go down to the 4 hour. 4 hour, nice change in volume profile here. Very, very nice. This suggests that the breakout is actually real. You've got RSI moving into the bullish zone. I like to see it when it moves above the critical zone. That's always a good signal. And we have maintained above the critical zone while on high volume, which is also very, very nice. 4 hour is looking a little bit, it's actually looking very, very good. No signs of topping yet. You do have your hodl, your long signal, just freshly printed there. Again, everything's pointing upwards. You've got the cross of the pink, and we didn't even get a cross down on the white, and we've just got continuation above the average with the blue line. I'm looking for the pink to cross the white line and continue up into this overbought territory over the next day or two. Volume's looking very, very good in here. Stokes are pretty high. Maybe a little bit of a short-term pullback, but I don't see a big pullback coming soon. Volatility is looking good as well. You've got volatility expansion with price expansion. Very, very good. Let's look at some levels, targets for the 4 hour. 4 hour, your immediate target is probably 123, 124, I think is same as the daily. And then again, 127, based on the volume profile here. Any sort of closure below, 113, 112, and I'd probably look for a test back down to 105. Maybe 110, 105 around this consolidation area. But apart from that, everything is looking good. And I think I will leave it there. What are we looking like with the EMAs? EMA is looking good. Test back down to the 9. Great. Yeah. Not much else apart from it's looking pretty bullish. It's looking for continuation. Maybe the 1 hourly trading above all moving averages, bullish. Yeah. If we close anywhere above here, I expect us to make more highs. We've got about 28 minutes on the hourly. If we do close here, let's take a look what the pivots telling us. Pivots, let's look at the weekly pivots. Probably look for a move up to about 120, 125 on the hourly is probably what it's telling me. Yeah, so XRP looking good for continuation. Stokes moving up on the hourly. Volatility is coming down a little bit, but that's to be expected. Yeah, I mean, the hourly signals are giving us a little bit more of a pullback type of a signal. But again, you've got the blue line, which is freshly pointing up after a little bit of a pullback. I'm not going to be bearish on this. RSI is staying in the bullish control zone, which is great. And we are in a bullish market trend. So you've got trend, you've got volatility, and you have momentum all coming in. I would be wary of potentially bearish divergence printing on here. We haven't made a local high yet, but as soon as we do, if the RSI stays down here, then this would actually be bearish divergence with lower highs on the RSI, and you've got higher highs on price action as well. So keep an eye out for that on the hourly. Apart from that, long-term time frames look really, really good. That's it for me.
That's what's up. It's XRP, man. It's for the culture. It's a solid coin. It looks like it's going to be booming up as well too. So, well, that's it here, guys. On the daily close, BTC, ETH, XRP. Things are looking like a bright and positive future. Things looking quite bullish. Of course, do your own research, look into this as well as taking our opinions, and make the best trade that's best for you and your situation. But yeah, we look to produce a few more of these TA videos every now and again throughout the week, so we can keep you updated on the market. But as always, if you guys could just give us a quick like, if you could subscribe to us, again, it helps us. Comments, we can cover different projects or look at TA for different coins that you have interest in. We'll always try to get back as soon as possible. But yeah, without further ado, this is another TA sesh with the Daily Close lads, and we'll see you guys next time. Thank you.
May the pump be with you.
May the pump be with you all.
May the pump be with you.